All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Deathstroke, the Terminator, issue number 9, City of Assassins, part 4. This is the last issue from this City of Assassins storyline with Batman also in it. And we're going to dive in. It's made by Marv Wolfman, who is the writer. Marv Wolfman is great. Steve Erwin is the penciler, and Will Blyberg is the inker. And I must say, I just love the art. And we see this picture here, or this figure, who is the Vigilante. Now, when I just read this comic, I completely ignored that. I saw a glimpse and I didn't pay attention because I was seeing this, Slade being drugged. So the assassin is here, and the assassin wants to spill the beans, right? He wants to basically break him. But then Slade Wilson is going mental because of he's been pumped up full with the serum, the truth serum, and then he is going nuts, and he's just starting to hallucinate. So I believe he is seeing old enemies. He's talking about Wintergreen, and I believe Wintergreen is his assistant, helper, maybe a butler, just like Alfred, from Batman. I'm not entirely sure because although I do know the characters for a very long time, this is my very first Deathstroke Terminator comic series. I never had any. So this is completely new to me. Moving on. Deathstroke is also seeing Jackal. Now, I always believed that this was Ravager, the son of one of the two sons of Deathstroke, but I could be wrong. So he's lunging at the assassin, and then he switches again because his mind is going from left to right, and he's talking about Addie. Not sure who's Addie. Maybe his wife, daughter. I have no clue. Anyway, so he's being held down by the evil guys, by the villains, by the goons. Batman comes in with his best costume, in my opinion, and this purple. What am I saying? Purple, blue, gray, yellow suit. In my opinion, the best suit. And he says to Slade, "Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong with you, man? What did they do to you?" And then he turns around, and this particular shot here that the artist drew, this reminds me of Tomb of Dracula, also written by Marv Wolfman and drawn by Gene Colan. Gene Colan has also, has his facial expressions when Dracula, turns around or have a certain particular shot when light and shadow hits his face, and then this look comes out. It's really well done. It immediately reminds me of that personally. It's just great. And then he also sees Batman as the wildebeest. Wildebeest was part of the Titans. As far as I remember, he's attacking. Batman just steps aside and he says, "Calm down, man." And then the last one he sees Joe. Joe is the second son, was also a Titan. And Batman just puts him to sleep. But then we also see a more humane version before Slade goes to sleep. Talk about he loved Joe, and that he left him no choice, and that he had to kill him. So I always thought that Terminator, Deathstroke was a hard-ass killer. Now we see a more different side of him. I like that a lot. Gives him character. So Batman calls Alfred in his this Batmobile, I guess, and so he made some blood sample and wants to see how he's been drugged and what kind of components there are in the blood. So he's going to analyze that, and then he also asked Alfred to make contact with his friends if he had any, and then Wintergreen comes to Gotham, and then he's being how do you say, weighted up? What's the word? Bruce is here to pick him up. That's probably the best way. And he talks about what happens. Links, $100. Jesus Christ, I know that one. Anyway, so Detective Tracy, this woman, I told you many times in the last issue that the assassin, this person, is Trace, because Trace, I mean, the assassin has a lot of womanly features, moves like a woman, has the proportions of a woman, and she's being very suspicious. And I said to you, hey, this is the assassin. And then Commissioner Gordon comes in and he says, hey, we've been looking you for days. I said, what's your point, Commissioner? I'm here, aren't I? Pat, someone tried to kill Barker. So if you know what I mean with Barker, just read the other episodes and subscribe to my channel and all that jazz. You will find out. And she says, are you accusing me? Your ex-partner was killed by Barker, says Commissioner. And you made no secret that you wanted him dead. So one of these other police members says, Barker was kidnapped shortly after you left your shift guarding him. And let the record show that you, the party detectives Briggs and Murdoch, heard you volunteer to kill Barker. An officer then was killed, Trace, killed with a police-issued shotgun by an attacker about your height. We also know you tapped into the computer records about Deathstroke, who just happened to be the man who kidnapped Barker. I was looking for leads, she says. I certainly didn't kill a fellow officer. So Gordon says, hey, listen, you are being now investigated. You are suspicious. Give me your badge. Okay. So, and then we move about, talking about, see that in his Rolls Royce, Bruce is talking to Wintergreen again, gives him the notes about the blood test. And he also asks for, hey, is he actually human? Talking about Deathstroke. Well, and we found out that he's more than that. He's enhanced. And Bruce also says, I want to get out of Gotham, so do it quickly, whatever you do. So, going back to this guy Scoops, who works for Deathstroke. Deathstroke, fired him because he was incompetent, according to him. And then Trace is here. Do I say that correctly? Is this Trace? Agent Trace, right? Trace, Detective Trace. So she says, I think this, he says, hey, who are you? And he says, I'm asking the questions. And you work for Jared. Now, Jared is the underground crime boss, mob thingy. He wants to kill Barker because Barker knows too much. And Barker is gonna testify against these crime bosses. That's why everybody wants him. And so Trace says to him, I found your name in Jared's file as a contract man for Deathstroke. Deathstroke turned down Jared's job offered to kill Jeremy Barker in the previous issues. Yet he and his partner went after Barker on their own. Barker I'll worry about later. Your boss I care squat about. But right now, I need his partner, the one they think is me. Talking about the assassin. So I thought to myself, wait a minute, why do you want to know that? You are the assassin, right? And then when I read this part, I thought, am I bamboozled? Am I wrong? So I was curious, and then we see Wintergreen here, talking to Deathstroke, and then also Trace here. And Trace says, hey, wait a minute. Are you telling me the Terminator wasn't working with the assassin? He says, you kidding? You should have heard him screaming about him. Then again, Mr. Slade, he screams a lot these days. That is, since his son is killed. But she wants to find out who then the assassin is and what his or her deal is with Deathstroke and what she actually wants. And then she said, hey, I got something to you that could help you. And then we see here Wintergreen give Deathstroke his costume. But also he wants to, say to Deathstroke, hey, listen, maybe you should come home. You're grieving. This is not good for you. I know you need to finish your contract, but just leave it here and come back. But Slade doesn't say anything. And then, we got a new Vigilante. I didn't see that coming at all. Although it was here on the nose, but I blanked on this particular image here. I just saw it just a second before I opened this comic a minute ago. But then, all right, so Slade is going to be the new Vigilante. And she's brought a very big gun. Is this a Magnum, by the way? It looks fantastic. Anyway, and so Slade says, hey, I'm going back to later. I need to finish the score. With the costume assassin, says Wintergreen. I know. Scoop filled me in. A resourceful man, Scoops. You'd be surprised how much he could share with you if only he were working for you. Scoops, of course, always looking out for the hurt. Stray dogs, aren't you, Wintergreen? All right. Since that means so much to you, tell him he can get back on the payroll after he gets me some weapons and locations, etc. So he goes away, and then we see Batman looking for him. Just, yeah. I love this shot. This art is great, man. I really like this. Anyway, so we see the assassin here with the group of assassins and with the group of criminals, with the bosses. And they, screaming a little bit towards the assassin and say, hey, you promised us Barker. You given us Zip. Now we heard Batman's going to turn him over to the cops so the trial can begin. If Barker talks to the grand jury, it's our necks that get strung up. And then, so the assassin says, gentlemen, as soon as Barker enters the courthouse, he's a dead man. Remember, I'll be there and I'll be armed. Well, as you can see, I'm calling her she right now because she has, this female figure and posture. So Deathstroke comes in with a very big, large machine gun, and he's getting attacked by the other goons. But then Trace comes in, so I thought, wait a minute, what? I thought she was Trace. So I'm happily to say that I was wrong the whole time. I was clearly convinced that this one was Trace. And not Vigilante or something. That was a nice surprise, and I'm happy that I'm wrong because I'm wrong, it means that the writing is actually good because it throws me off balance. It surprised me, and that's since it's Marv Wolfman is so good. When I thought at the first issue that that I've read about the storyline, and I've said to you, hey. This guy's a woman, so it must be Trace. It was a little bit too on the nose, I guess. And now I'm being, bamboozled. So we have now the assassin, who's clearly a woman, and Trace as the new Vigilante. So, yeah, they are... they are going back to back and help each other and teaming up. And they're laying waste to all these criminals. But then the Slade says, hey, I'm out of ammo. What do you mean, out of ammo? You got pouches like the Batman? Surely there is some, explosive shurikens or other stuff. And you also have a holster. There's no weapon in it? How? That's a little bit weird. So he gets the gun from the goons, cool weapon, and they are shooting back. And then we see this shadow. Of course, that's the Batman. And the Batman is here helping, and he says, hey, no more shooting, no more killing. We do it my way. And then they are, taking out the bumps. And Batman says, hey, Wilson, are you okay? And he says, I don't feel very well. And he screams. By the way, I really need this one. I saw this on eBay. But, yeah, that's the only place that I can get it. So it's probably going to really be expensive. I'm really curious about that. Saw some art. Was fantastic. Yeah, I have to wait. I tried to cover this, but too late. So yeah, this is happening. Vigilante and the assassin is going to having a fight, and then it's revealed that it's none other than Lorna Gaines, FBI agent and cop killer. You're dead, woman. You're all dead. I didn't see this coming at all because he was the one that interrogated Slade here. This woman, right? Now she is now the one that is the bad guy, and she admits that she wanted to create chaos, etc. And she was, I believe demoted because of some past projects that she did with the cops, with the bureau, and it fails or something. They demoted her. I'm not entirely sure, but she wants to create chaos. But then when she's just reaching for the gun and Slade is still recovering from what's happening, and she's just shoots her in the back, and now she's dead. All right. And Batman says, Batman says, "You could have just wounded her, Detective Trace." "How do you know that she's Trace, Batman?" "Well, of course he's Batman. He's a detective, right? We always forget that. But Batman is very smart." She says, "I tried to. I missed." "Of course you did." "Wait, you knew who I was?" She said, "Forget him. Nice shot." And then the police comes. So Batman says, "Hey, get the hell out of here, and don't come back. And also, you just dump the costume into the river, because the costume brought its last owner pain, grief, and ultimate his own destruction. Flush it down the nearest sewer before it takes you down with it." Yeah, good advice, probably. And then, so the cops come, and he says, "Hey, it looks there was a war." There was. "And even though the bad guys lost, the war goes on." So cool. I love these. I love the writing. And but then we see this Barker epilogue still. Barker is helped the cops, so he's been moved out of the country to a nicer, safer place somewhere in Miami. And then he wants to take a leak, and then Ravager is here. No, not Ravager. Vigilante is here, and she says, "The man who deaf I dreamed about every night." And she says, "No, what are you doing?" And then she's threatening him, and she says, "No bullying in the first chamber. Maybe it's in the second." "No, you can't do this. I'm government property." "You're garbage, that's what you are. But I won't kill you now. I just wanted you to know I'm around. I always know where you are, and I'll always be just out of sight, waiting. Have a nice life, Jeremy." And then Slade says, "Hey, why did you kill him?" And she says, "I couldn't. Not live with myself. You should have asked me to do it." "Maybe you're right. Hey, look, it's beginning to snow. Ever make snow angels? Hey, there's always a first time. Come on, I'll teach you how." And that's the end of it. I like that. I like this a lot. It's good ending, nice ending. It wraps up story very nice. Sometimes the story dragged a lot. I'm not sure if it's, so there's 4 parts of the City of Assassins storyline. I believe we could have done it in 3, maybe. I'm not sure, but overall, I like this. I like this a lot. Also, the new Vigilante, yeah, great stuff. I wonder how long she is, gonna be the Vigilante. I really particularly like this shot. Costume looks nice, guys. Anyway, let me know what you think about this comic. Did you read this? Did you like it or not? Let me know in the comments. Give a like, share, blah blah. See you next time. Bye bye.